You have your agenda handy?
No,
You want mine?
I lost it. Okay. Here. Right. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Scapanello, resolved that the meeting is hereby declared to be open to the public at 12:31. All in favor? Okay. Business arising in closed session.
It's
No, sorry, business. Moved by Councillor Scapanello, seconded by Councillor Kotick, resolved that council is in receipt of administration report admin 2023-12 submitted by Florence McLean, CAO, regarding the recreation center upgrades. Request for resolution of support for NOHFC funding application. Do I continue or no?
Not yet.
Okay, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Staff have prepared a grant application to the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation, also known as NOHFC. It's a provincial funding program designed specifically for Northern Ontario. And the application is to complete renovations to the recreation center, which include roof replacement on the arena, the recreation center, and the curling club, as well as mechanical upgrades, the new heating system, water filtration system, and distribution piping through the building. Accessibility upgrades to the front entrance of the recreation center, as well as accessible washrooms on the main floor. An elevator lift that would take patrons to the basement and the fitness center, as well as upstairs to access the second floor of the library and the curling club lounge. And the installation of a new LED board and clock for the arena, and painting of the exterior of the building, as well as new exterior lighting and signage. So we worked with TPT Engineering over the past 5 years on the requirements of the needed upgrades at the recreation center. We have made several funding applications that have been declined for various reasons, particularly that the programs that we've applied to are oversubscribed, and our project is not selected. And we do feel quite confident that we will be able to access funding through the NOHFC program. However, that funding is limited to $2 million. That's the maximum they would fund. The total project costs are currently estimated at $7.5 million. And we have reached out to various sponsors and anticipate that we will be able to bring in $1 million in sponsorship funding. So that leaves the municipal contribution at about $4.5 million. And so this request is for support from council that's required for the NOHFC application to identify the amount of funding that the municipality will contribute, and then also make a confirmation that any cost overruns would be covered by the municipality. And so that's a requirement of the funding. So that's the project that's presented in front of you in the report. We have looked at other funding sources. FedNor is a federally funded program for Northern Ontario, and they don't fund arenas or cultural centers. So that funding is not available to us. And we're not aware of any other funding for arenas that is available at the moment. The NOHFC board is scheduled to meet in June. And so this project actually has to be, the application has to be confirmed along with this resolution of support next week to NOHFC in order for the board to be able to consider it in June. If it's approved, the funding would be funding announcement would be made shortly after that. So some of the work could take place this fiscal year. And then over into the second construction season in 2024. Are there any questions?
Speaking to the chair, I see mention of long-term debt being a possible source of funding this. Where would that debt come from? Like, where would we take the loan from?
So there is a municipally funded loan program called OSIPA, which Eric mentioned that earlier. And that is a potential source of funding for us. We have used that loan program in the past, about 20 years ago when the sewer, the wastewater lines were updated through various areas of the municipality. And that loan has been repaid now, and we currently have no long-term debt in this.
And following up on that, how much would we be able to take from OSIPA for this project?
We haven't reached out to them to talk about, the amount of funding. And that would be another discussion with council in another report to look at exactly how council wants to fund the project once it's approved. But for the purpose of this report, it's to state that the township will cover those costs. How we do that could be determined in another report when the funding's we'll know that there is a project.
Okay, any other questions?
So, one last thing, just this is a lot of money to be investing in this very old building that has lots of issues. We just spoke about the pool, we haven't been able to fix that completely, and there's a lot of other things we have to kind of face going forward. So I don't think personally that this is a great investment. Honestly, it's not really a question more, but David on my part. Seems like a lot, especially if we were to incur a debt that would possibly have an interest and then we lose out on more money going forward. That's concerning.
Okay, thank you for your opinion. Any other questions?
Through the chair, so in the report you state there's sponsorships not confirmed up to potentially $1 million. If that came in, whatever those sponsorships may look like, if they came in over that, that would lessen the cost on what the township would have to put forward.
That's correct.
Anything else? Okay.
Actually,
Oh,
one last
sorry.
thing. If we did not get the sponsorships or the NOHFC, how does that impact the financial implications on the side of the township? Like what we have to contribute? Does that increase the amount we have to contribute or?
Well, council would then have to determine if they were going to complete all of the repairs that are required and over what period of time and how that would be funded. So right now we are very reactive in our approach to the recreation center and we fix things as they break. This is a proactive project where we're going to repair it and then maintain it once it's done. So again, right now, how we fund repairs is we fix them as they break. And oftentimes that leaves us over budget in terms of the operational funding that council has approved. And that certainly was experienced this past year.
Everything? Okay, thank you.
I'm not sure. The opportunity to.
Yes. Yes.
So, CAO McLean and I have discussed this project, with respect to the finance department implications. And I just want to express where I sit on this. I think that right now we're in that period of transition from the previous finance department administration. And with where we're at with the budget process for 2023 and other potential capital needs, I think that this is an excellent project that we should pursue, but I don't know that now is the right time to pull the trigger with this resolution. And I just wanted to express that. I think that it's council's decision, of course, but there is a paragraph in there that speaks to delaying the decision of resolution of support. It will give staff more time to put this together.
So thank you, Aaron. And just to speak to that, I did reach out to NOHFC to ask what the date of the next board meeting will be if council decided to defer. And although they couldn't give me an exact date, they stated that it would be August or September. So if council chose to defer submitting this application at this time, we could bring it back again in July or August for the next board meeting. Although I don't anticipate the numbers will change. The only thing that may change are the costs that continue to climb every time we try to make this project work.
Through the chair, if I may, all of these upgrades that we're doing to the rec are only going to better our facility. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is infrastructure, this is usability, this is going to be an access for, make it better for people that are disabled. I think it's all just a very positive thing. I mean, to get a new rec center at this time, it's, potentially 50, 60, 70 million dollars as opposed to, $3 to $5 million in repairs to continue what we have to maintain it and allow our residents and make it usable, right? And then continue to keep it in a safe manner. So
If I may speak to the chair to that, my issue with just repairs is oftentimes when we do repairs, especially in a building that old, we find there are things that we miss. That was the case with the pool. When we redid the lining, there was all the issues with the pipes underneath. We never checked that. So with repairing the rec center, there may be issues we're not even aware of going forward that could incur more costs. And in terms of building a new structure, we could just do it piece by piece. We don't have to do the whole building at once. Just say, build a new rink somewhere else that we have available land, and that will cost $50 million, but like we start just over the years slowly building up to replace the buildings that might be more feasible.
I guess we will just go forward with this and we will vote accordingly. Okay, I think the recreation center is the heart of the community. And if we have an opportunity to repair it, that's my thoughts, that it's a good thing. And I would hate to lose another season of not, of continuing with what we have. So I will go ahead with the resolution. So that council provide a resolution of support for the funding application to the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation for the renovations to the Manitouwadge Recreation Center. That council commit to funding up to 4.5 million as the township share of the project costs, and further that council commits to fund any cost overruns that may be incurred as part of the project. All in favor? Carried. Okay. You wanna report that there?
Through the chair, would you like a recorded vote?
Okay. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Scapanello, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council of the Township of Manitouwadge at its special meeting held on Thursday, April 6th, 2023, be read a first and second time. And furthermore, be read a third time, passed and numbered as bylaw number 2023-15. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Scapanello, seconded by Councillor Kotick, resolved that the special meeting adjourn at the hour of 12:45. All in favor?